2 races down, 2 to go. Welcome along to round 8 of Bennetts British Superbikes at Donington Park. Well, James, it's going to be an interesting one, this. You can see the slippery surface flag is out here at the foggy yeses.
What you've got here is really dark coloured tarmac, even when it's dry, so it's more difficult to distinguish where the damp patches are when you've got dark tarmac like this.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they're like on the first couple of laps. You'd imagine they'll be a little bit more
caution,
tentative.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Than they would be. Brad Ray, they've turned that bike upside down over the last 24 hours or so. We'll get into that more in a little bit, but green flag is waved at the back. 12 laps of action to come. The third sprint race of the weekend for Bennetts BSB here at Donington Park is about to get underway. Red lights are on. Lights around and we're underway. Good start then from Scott Redding off the front row. He drags alongside Carl Ryan and gets the advantage immediately down towards the first corner. Look at Iden trying to come through as well on the Kawasaki, but it's Redding that leads, right into second, and Brad Ray up into third from fourth on the grid. Side by side with Skinner versus Iden, down through Hollywood and into the Crater Curves. Who's going to come out on top of that one? It's Christian Iden on board the Kawasaki. He's now through to fourth.
Yeah, probably through to third now, up the inside of Rory Skinner, just because he's quite brave in these conditions. I mean, it's his first lap. You don't really know if you run a little bit wide or you touch a white line, if it's damp, how much grip you've got or haven't got. Oh, hang on.
Oh, look at that big move.
That was a
around the outside of McLean's.
Yeah, Christian nearly got him bothered there.
Yeah, didn't...
And it cost him, because now Skinner's back up the inside before they get to Coppice.
Yeah, so Brad Ray then back through now into third, Iden down to fourth, Skinner in fifth. Then you've got the number 52 of Danny Kent in sixth place, down in towards the foggy S as we go, and here comes Christian Iden repaying the favour on Bradley Ray, getting back through and into third place once more. That's where it's been a bit slippery according to some of the riders.
Yeah, interestingly though, they're not using any of the painted sections on the inside or the outside. They're not using painted sections coming out. Well, normally at foggy S's, you'd use all the paint just to grab that extra sort of 6-inch of track.
Oh, Glenn Owen's in some bother here. As I said, they've turned that bike around over the last sort of 24 hours or so. And
looking down, oil leak, gear lever maybe.
Yeah, hopefully he's not dropping any fluid if it is indeed a technical problem. Anyway, the end of the first lap we go. Scott Redding is at leads, right in second, and Christian Iden, who's up through and into third place from sixth on the grid. So he's had a fantastic start on board that Kawasaki. You spoke to him down on the grid, Whit, and you said it was his conditions. You've been proven right so far.
Yeah, I think he's much more able to take a risk and assess a risk than other riders, so that's what's put him in third at the minute.
Yeah, Billy McConnell, Storm Stacey, they've also made some good ground, up to 10th and 11th for Stacey and McConnell respectively, so clearly favouring the conditions that have been changing over the course of this one. And let's see if they can continue making forward progress or whether it'll come to a stop. Into McLean's we go.
You will see when the riders are getting confident in the drying conditions, when they start using the painted sections on the outside and the inside as track.
Down to the foggy S's.
Yeah, still not using the paint, look.
They're being careful, aren't they?
And they have to be careful. Honestly, it holds the moisture a lot longer than the tarmac, and if you hit it and it's moist, down you go.
Skinner and Kent in the background there as well. That's a battle for fifth place, I beg your pardon, and Skinner through.
The better of it.
Yeah, yep. Lovely job there on board that Cheshire Mouldings Ducati. 2 back-to-back podiums so far this weekend for Rory Skinner. His best performance since Knock Hill back in May. End of the second lap we go, and across the timeline, Redding is that still leads, right in second. There's Brad Ray in fourth place, and he's going for the inside line and going for the move down into Redgate on Christian Iden. Gets it done, lovely.
Yeah, and the riders are getting a little bit more confident now. Time's down into the 28s for most people, and then 29s for that last lap, so they're getting a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, getting heat into the tyres and just starting to push on a little bit.
Yeah, just find out where the grip is and where it isn't.
With Brad Ray, they've had a difficult weekend, of course, missing FP1 due to an engine problem. Had issues in the race yesterday where the engine was overheating. They've stuck a new engine in that bike ahead of the racing today. But interestingly, they've gone back to the setup they used at Donington last time, where he cleaned up.
Why wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, exactly.
If the conditions are the same, why wouldn't you?
That's a Honda in the middle of the track. Is that Irwin or is it Bridewell?
That's Andy Irwin, we reckon.
Yeah, and he's down in a big way as well. Look at the leathers. Meanwhile, at the front of this one, Carl Ryde's looking closer than he has done on Scott Redding. Doesn't think about a move this time around into the old hairpin. Still nothing doing for safety car, and we just had confirmation that it is now coming out. So the bike is going to have to be recovered. You can see it there. Safety car does come out, so the race gets neutralised.
The main thing is the marshals need to look and see if that bike has leaked any fluid, if there's a hole in a tank, a hole in a casing, any coolant come out. They need to find that out for the safety of everybody else, obviously.
Yeah, great reactions from everybody to avoid that. No, that's Danny Kent that's gone down. At the Foggy S's under the safety car.
I reckon what Danny's done is gone over the paint there, and that probably just had a little bit of moisture on it.
Safety car's coming in at the end of this lap, we understand. So now Scott will become the pace setter for everybody else.
Yep, the lights are off on the top of the safety car, which means it's coming in. And it comes in before the last corner, but the riders cannot start overtaking each other until the start and finish line. So it's now down to Scott Redding as to how he backs him up and where he goes. And remember, we've had some shenanigans in this situation before.
Yeah, we certainly have. Well, thankfully, none of the like. Scott Redding decided to go straight for it. Yeah. Out of the final corner, green flag racing as we begin lap 6. Scott Redding leads, Ride in second, Brad Ray in third as we come across the timeline. Look at Leon Haslam trying to get the better of Max Cook down into the first corner. That's a battle for 7th place. Can he make it stick? Oh, he ran it a bit hot and Cook got back through on the exit of the corner. Down in towards the Craner curves and into the old hairpin. Ride is sticking with the number 4 of Scott Redding, isn't he, coming through here?
Yeah, and strangely, Carl Ride looks at least as strong down into the old hairpin as Scott Redding, and that wasn't the case in the previous race this morning. Scott looked stronger there. These riders and teams are always making changes and tweaking these bikes based on what they've gone through the race before. It's almost like a big test, but it's a big test at real race conditions.
Well, I was listening to their post-race interviews after the second race earlier on today, and Kyle was saying, so the only way I knew that Scott was there is because I could hear the difference of tone in his bike. He was right behind me, and that's how I knew when to sort of back out and just let him go through.
And the Ducatis make more noise in that respect. When somebody's behind you on a Ducati, it's a lot of induction roar. It's not the engine noise you can hear, it's the induction roar.
Right, looking for the inside line. Does he have an opportunity to go for the race lead? Redding's a little bit hot into there, just cuts it back late. That's bringing Brad Ray into the picture.
Look who's on the back wheel now.
Yeah. Brad Ray coming right to the fore then here.
I actually thought, you know, by the end of today, Brad Ray will be right back on it. He's lacked a lot of testing time. That's fine. You put an engine in, you lose another engine. But what it means is you've lost all that setup time to get your bike just as good as it can be.
Yeah, and of course not too many laps left here now, just 5 to go here at Donington Park. So not a lot of opportunity to try and make those moves stick. Here comes Ride. Can he get it stopped into the final, penultimate corner, I beg your pardon?
Not quite.
Not quite on that occasion. Redding goes back through. This is going to be a fun battle towards the end of this one. Does he have a look into Goddard's?
Yeah, Brad Ray's going to be loving this.
Yeah, he's going to be sitting there looking at who's strong. Oh, that's Fraser Rogers on the tag Honda that's gone off.
Yeah, not crashed up, so he's...
That's down at Melbourne Loop, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he's had a bit of contact with another rider there. But the top 3, line astern then, as we begin lap 8 here at Donington Park. And you wonder whether you can see Christian Iden, maybe Rory Skinner trying to get involved in this as well. They're just a bit too far adrift as it stands for now. Have to say, oh, look at that on the inside at Craner curves.
You don't see that often.
No, and he's backing it into the old hairpin. Can he get it back?
Nah, cost him 2 metres, did that.
And he's brought Brad Ray into it as well. Into the Swans curve. On the inside goes Carl Ride. And into the race lead. And now Brad Ray fancies joining in on the action. Into McLean. So Ride, Redding and Ray are your top 3.
Yeah, and why do you think that is? Who's behind him? Brad Ray, championship rival. And that's pushed Kyle on. And that is a new Kyle Ride we're seeing. You wouldn't have seen that 2 years ago, would you?
Fantastic job from Kyle Ride. And look at what he's done there. Just 2-3 corners of squabbling. And it's brought Christian Iden
back
right
into the mix.
Right onto them. This is fantastic. In towards the Fogarty S's we go. Nobody's surely going to think about a move into there at this stage, but you get the sense Brad Ray, the carrot's being dangled in front of him.
I get the impression there that Kyle knew where Brad was. He had a go at that, and I think he thinks the pace is a bit slow. Here comes Brad Ray up the inside. Has he got it stopped? Yes, he has.
Lovely move there from Brad Ray, aggressive on the inside as he lunges down at the Melbourne Loop and goes through and into second place.
Fastest lap of the previous race was a 26, high 26.8. They've only done a 27.6, so I reckon Kyle can put more time into here. I think he's having a go at getting away.
Well, let's see whether he can do that. 3 laps to go then here as we come down in towards the first corner. What can Brad Ray do? Now up into second, trying to chase victory for the first time since Cadwell Park a couple of weeks ago.
This is what we want to see, championship racing.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Yeah.
Carl Ride versus Bradley Ray. That would be a hugely exciting battle. I wonder what it's going to look like on the grid for the 4th and final race of the weekend later on this afternoon as well. Currently, quickest man is Carl Ride. He's got a 1:27.7. Brad Ray just a couple of hundredths of a second away from that as well. Well, Brad Ray not quite close enough to launch an attack at the moment, but
yeah, but what does his team tell him?
Yeah, that's it. But it takes one more stay from Carl Ride, getting the bike out of shape, going through the final corner. He's definitely pushing on here, isn't he, Carl Ride, as we begin the final lap of racing in the 3rd race of the weekend for Bennetts BSB at Donington Park. It's Ride versus Ray, 0.6 of a second, the advantage in favour of Ride across the line.
Yeah, and Carl Ride does not panic, and no reason to suggest he would do now.
But it looks like it's moving around quite a lot for Brad Ray coming down through the crane of curves here.
Yeah, now how's he going to push, because a crash would mean he'd lose even more points. As he's sitting now, he only loses another 2 points on Carl Ride.
Yeah, all Rory Skinner's coming under pressure here from Tommy Bridewell as well. This is a battle for the final place inside the top 5. Leon Haslam's ready to try and pick his pocket as well. So despite the podiums that we've seen from Rory Skinner so far, it's not going his way here in race 3 as he comes under pressure from the Honda and the Ducati.
If Carl Ride doesn't make a mistake here, I think it's his.
Yeah, I think he's got this one pretty much in his back pocket for now. Half a lap still to go though. Ray was slower than 2 actually, by just a couple of hundredths of a second than last time around. Look at the bike, he's backing his way into the chicane there, Brad Ray.
Great ride from Iden in 4th this.
Yeah, fantastic on board that Kawasaki. We know that, of course, that team, the only ones running the Kawasaki's and doing a phenomenal job of it. Down into the Melbourne Loop we go though.
Great.
Carl Ride has absolutely excelled here at Donington Park. He took victory here this morning, extended his lead up to 17 points in the championship, and he'll extend it further still as he comes out of the final corner and across the line to win race 3 here at Donington Park. Carl Ride takes victory for Nitrous Competitions Yamaha, Bradley Ray in 2nd, and Scott Redding on the podium in 3rd position. Christian Iden comes over the line in 4th, ahead of Skinner, who did hold off the charge from Haslam and Bridewell to the checkered flag. Well, Carl Ride, he has just been the man of the moment, the reigning world champion.
I was just going to say, you know, when they sort of looking at each other and shaking hands and it's this close, it's so easy. I've seen so many accidents on wind-down laps, and that was nearly a big accident there for Christian Iden.